And it begins. Hello, how you going? I'm gonna get used to this. I'm going all in. I'm at an interesting point in my life. I'm 34 years of age. You know, it's been an interesting journey. Since I was a kid, I started making hip hop music. And it's consumed half of my life, you know. Half of my life I've poured so much into it. Poured everything I could into it. And it's interesting because when you, like many of us that kind of get into hip hop, you know, we're definitely looking for a sense of belonging, but we're looking for recognition. We're looking for attention, you know. It's an interesting culture, especially considering how much the industry has taken it and manipulated it and monetized it, which has happened for a long time, you know. The hip hop that I grew up off and that, you know, I connected with was strategically manipulated and marketed towards myself as a kid, you know. So as I understand the world more and more as I grow and I keep shifting my perspective, I'm just at a point in my life where I don't want to be put into any box, you know. I don't really like thinking I'm a rapper, and I don't want to be called a comedian. I don't want to be called whatever. I just want to be me. And I feel that I've really found myself on a spiritual level more than I ever have before in my life, which is interesting, because the more that you get comfortable with yourself and the more that you can be your pure spirit and be present in it definitely brings on a lot of challenges, you know. And I've really, copped some interesting reflections from people that I care about deeply. And it's an interesting one, because we're all looking for our own sense of fulfillment, you know what I mean? I guess that's what life is finding your fulfillment in what you do, where you are, who you spend your time with, your family, everything, you know. And it's such a crazy time to be alive in, when there's so many ways to find fulfillment. And people are in so many ways, you know. Externally, internally, materialism, all sorts of different stuff. And it scares me, you know. I'm scared of the world, but I refuse to give in to the fear, you know what I mean? I can't give in to the fear. And you know, for the people that are judging me at the moment for kind of what I'm doing, what I have been doing, I forgive them. You know, it's all love. And I mean that, like it's love and acceptance, and that's what I'm really trying to figure out in this world where there's so much pain. Trauma is so complicated now because the culture of trauma has been inflicted. It's generational. It's controlled, you know. There's many aspects of kind of the perspective I have now that I guess over time I'll share as I get more comfortable doing this sort of stuff. It's an interesting one, trying to like start a vlog, you know. I feel our natural instincts, like, you know, every single person when they hear themselves recorded, they're like, you know what I mean? And, you know, I'm definitely not free of that. And it'll be interesting watching this shit back, because I'm going to cringe at myself, you know what I mean? But I'm so grateful because I still have so many people that believe in me. I have so many people that encourage me, and so many people that really find reward in me being my most present self, as rewarding as I'm finding it, you know what I mean? And it's an interesting one, man, when you've got like that perspective that you want to share. A lot of people don't want that perspective, you know. Outside perspectives are some of the most priceless things you can get in life. Perspective is everything. It's the glass half full, glass, half empty. And yeah, so I guess this is the beginning. I've got a bunch of ideas. I think I'm gonna start over. I'm gonna start fresh in this system, in this country. I'm gonna, I think I'm just gonna continue this journey of finding myself, and build in more of a healthy way that I can better myself. I want to better myself physically. I want to better myself mentally, and just continue to better myself spiritually as much as possible. There's so much pain in the world, and we're all trying to fix it in different ways, whether it be pain that we're dealing with on a personal level, pain that we're dealing with within our community, or pain that we're dealing with on a worldwide level, because it's everywhere. It is everywhere. There's so much pain going on. And yeah, I empathize deeply. I really do. I've always been a very empathetic person, to the point where my empathy has probably driven me down a few dark roads because I attach. What's going on here, eh? Yeah. And a big part of my nature, I've got a lot of protective nature. I really I really realized in this transition at the end of last year, as the THC album dropped, which is the Tassie Hip Hop Collective album, and all the hard work that Lockie Hamill put into it. And it was a massive blessing to me, because I really learned that, what have we got here? See what's in the pine forest. That's huge. But yeah, it was a massive sign to me that I've taken the role of the shepherd for the flock for a long time, and it's brought me so many trials and tribulations. I don't think I ever would have gone to prison the way that I did if I wasn't so obsessed with protecting hip hop. That's what happened. This guy was tagging a pub that I held close emotionally, because it attaches to my core memories with hip hop. And me being the protector, or the shepherd, or the sheriff, or whatever you want to call it, I took it upon myself to defend, and then I'm in prison for a year. So yeah, I guess through this, what do we got? Well, first episode, we found a gem. Let's go. Yeah, I guess from here I'm just gonna live life. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna try and be as honest with myself as possible, honest with the people around me. I don't really want to pull any punches anymore. I understand we have to tiptoe around certain things, but the truth needs to be told, because the healing is in truth telling. It is. You got to speak your truth to find your healing. What is this? Oh, it's a mad little camp. It's a mad little camp. What's in the camp? What's in the camp? Yeah. Hey. A little bit of fire, a couple matches. Yeah. That's alright, that's alright. What should we get here? Tackle box. It's a cool little setup. Beginnings of a tree house. Trippy. Well, there you go. It's the first gem found on the lurk. But yeah, fam. I just want to thank everyone that, supports this idea. I want to thank Spanian. Spanian gave me his blessings and really encouraged me to do this, And so, yeah, I know there's some people out there going, hey, we've already got one Spanian, we don't need... I'm not trying to be Spanian. I got nothing but love and respect for him. He's an absolute legend. I really appreciate how he moves. I appreciate his spirituality in that sense. And he's been very kind and respectful to me, Before I met him, I was a bit intimidated, like, oh, what's Spaniard going to be like? And he just was so kind and respectful towards me, So I just take that as a blessing. And I feel that, this journey that I've been living has been a crazy one. To try and explain the last year that I lived, quickly it's hard. Like whenever I try and explain some of the experiences I had last year to people, I can see them going, whoa. And I'm like, yeah, it's okay. It's all right. So I have to learn my place in time where I can share my experience, you know what I mean? Because it really it's put me at a very interesting level of contentness, which has always come with its ups and downs, you know what I mean? It's not consistent. There's another little cubby building there. But I'm just going to share this truth. I'm going to go around the country again. I'm going to do what I do. I'm still going to be active in the hip hop culture and, planting seeds. It's what I'm about. I just like planting seeds and watching them grow. And when you've been doing what I've been doing for a long time, you really get a good perspective on it, There's actions that I made in 2011 that I see the results of today, And that's the butterfly effect. But for me, now understanding the culture the way I do, and this isn't just hip hop. This is, I'm very grateful for every person I've met on my journey and the reflection and everything they've shared with me. Because I'm going to keep just trying to better myself. I really want to better my life, get myself into a good place, And there's still quite a few things that I feel that I need to process. And I think the world needs to process. Because, I'm still seeing a lot of pain. And, it's all about that perspective, I guess. But thanks again for tapping in and supporting me, fam. This is going to be rough as fuck. I'm just going to upload the one take. I'll come up with a cool intro at one point and, I'm really going to build it. But I got the GoPro and I was like, I need to start this. I need to just do it. You know what I mean? I need to just do it and just see where it goes. I've got some really good ideas, I'm going to start here in Lutruwita, Tasmania, because this is a very complicated island. Very complicated. So some of the deepest trauma that this country has faced, I guess. And because it's an island, it's all been kept in-house. A lot of the pain in Tassie, I see it like a bouncy ball in a small metal room, and when someone went bang, and it's just gone bang, 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 all around the walls, And I see it every day in the street. I've studied the history here pretty deeply. I've studied a lot of, just different aspects of the culture and the growth and the ideology and the evolution of humans being kind people, understanding each other, understanding different people from different backgrounds. There's there's shit going on in the world right now that is colonization, you know what I mean? And through the experiences that I had around the country, I just realized that the colonization is still happening here. It's happening massively. And, oh shit, let's go, we found another one. Fort Pine. This is a full fort. It's the full fort. What have we got here? Oh. Alrighty. Alrighty, what do we got? Some camera lenses. Not lenses, caps. Hey, some broken keys. Just a bunch of snap keys, eh? Something was stolen, I reckon. This is the full fort. Look at this. Oh, they've got a ladder. This is the shit. Fucking yeah. Let's go. Whoop. Oh shit. Fort Pine. Yeah. Whoop. It. Well, here I am, sitting at Fort Pine. See, this is the blessing. I was like, I don't know if there's going to be anything good that I can get for the vlog. I just guess I've got to go for a walk and talk shit. And here we are at Fort Pine. What a magical spot. I'm going to give it 5 stars on Airbnb. This is sick though. It's a little creepy, a little bit Blair Witchy, you know what I mean? A little bit of a Blair Witch vibe. It's sturdy though, I'll give it to them. They've done a good job. Old Fort Pine. It's no Fort Knox, but it's still pretty good. There's a seat there. Alrighty. I snapped my leg 3 years ago. Pretty bad as well. So I've been enjoying walking around, just trying to get my legs healthy and it's more active. At one point I was like 120 kilos. So yeah, there we go. Fort Pine, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah! There we go. There's wallabies. Pretty mad little pine forest, eh? So yeah, I guess that's what I'm going to figure out. I'm going to start each day, just turn the GoPro on, go out. I'm going to restart my life in a new way, I think. I'm still going to make music. I'm still going to do what I do. I'm definitely going to do more stand-up. I really enjoy stand-up comedy. A big motivator for me has been my friend Lewis Spears. He's been really encouraging me to do this for a long time, you know. I'm very grateful for Lewis. He's had a crazy last few years. His health was pretty fucked. And he's in a good place again. And I spoke to him last night, just before New Year's. And yeah, he's been a massive motivator for me. And I'm very grateful to have such a good friend like Lewis in my life. And yeah, I've got some other really good friends that have really encouraged me. And, you know, I guess because I just get up and I leave. I just see where it takes me. And I think that's important. I think it's fucking important to follow our intuition. And also, just get off the grid. We're not meant to walk in these blocks, in circles, up this street, take a right, that street, you know what I mean? I don't think we're meant for it. And I think humans are getting institutionalized in the system of the grid, you know what I mean? They massively. I really noticed this when I go to Melbourne. I can see a lot of people struggling because they never go off the path, you know? They never find their own path. And we really need to do that. Oh, beautiful. Some butterflies. Yeah, I think it's important. We need to just take our shoes off and stop walking down the straight line of concrete. It doesn't serve us in any way. At least when you're walking around like this, your mind is engaged, you know. You're consistently sussing out where you have to step, where you're going. A whole gang of wallabies over there. Ow. But yeah, it's important. And, you know, see what happens. If you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling shit, if you're feeling like, oh, I got no money, I can't do nothing, you know, or this is happening, I can't do anything, just take your shoes off and go bush. Whatever, wherever it is, just go hard with it. I know it sounds pretty stupid to some of you, but I really think that we're just really institutionalized. We're in our boxes on the street, and I don't think it's healthy for us. As much as we've developed this over, you know, last 1,000 years of colonized culture, you know, especially just the Western system that we're in. I'm going to go for missions through some of the notorious suburbs in Tassie, and once again, I'm not going to be going into the hood, look how dodgy this place is. Bless. You know, I'm going to really be going in and just spending a lot of time yarning with people and helping them understand. Like, there's a spot in Tassie called Bridgewater that was literally designed off the same blueprint they used to build some of the communities in Compton, which is designed to institutionalize people in that place of living. They designed the actual layout of the suburb to, you know, keep people there, keep them trapped. And I'm very lucky in the early stages of my life because my dad's from America and my mum's from Tassie, and I really got to see outside the bubble that a lot of people get stuck in. You know, Tassie's an interesting place like that as well. Like, some people never leave Tasmania. Nah, planes crash, boats sink, fuck that, I ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, it's a blowout. And it's so easy to get stuck if you don't gain that perspective, you know. All comes back to that perspective. Perspective of self, perspective of your environment, perspective of your spirit. You know, we use language so flippantly these days, but it's all connected. It's all deeply connected, especially if you take it back to its original language, you know. If you look at the definition of English words when they're in Latin, it's different to how people use it now. And that's where I really think that we've got desensitized from the language that we're using. We don't understand it anymore, especially with the internet. It's just like saying shit that we don't even know. We've lost it, you know what I mean? So I guess, yeah, as I make this vlog, I'm going to keep learning. I'm going to keep sharing. I've had some really interesting people hit me up. And I walk all walks of life, you know. You know, I know some of the people in Tassie that are up there. I know some of the people that are down there. And I refuse to treat either of them any differently. It's interesting because it's the ones up there that treat me differently. And it's the ones down there that always show love. But bless, like, once again, people are just stuck in their perspective of what they think they've got to lose. And the beauty is, here we go, we're out of old Fort Pine. Yeah, the beauty is that The beauty is when you lose everything is where you can find yourself, because we've become so caught up in this materialism, it gets lost in our identity. You know what I mean? It's an interesting time. It's an interesting time for a lot of that stuff, especially when it's so obvious. Like, we have access to so much resources at the moment, and it's so obvious what the people in power are doing. It's so obvious. And really, we all know they just try to keep us busy and arguing, turning on each other over other shit. What do you think about this weekly topic? What's your opinion on it? How come you don't think this? How come you do think that? A lot of people just don't know the details, or they also don't know what it's like to experience something like that. And when you've been put in some dangerous situations in your life, you have to survive. And that's what once again the system will do. The system can manipulate you to put you in a place where you have to survive, and that can come with a lot of trauma that then, beats you down even more. Your spirit goes deeper and deeper, and you're shut down, So yeah, hope my first vlog has been all right. Thanks for coming on the journey. Thanks for listening. I'm going to keep sharing and keep making these, and I'm going to start off fresh. New year, new me, 2024. It's going to be a good year. I feel there's a lot of people aligned at the moment. A lot of people that really had a rough last few years are all aligned at the same point. They're ready to change the way they live, change the way they react, change the way that their emotions direct them. You know what I mean? And it's been a big thing for me, is just understanding my emotional reaction to the world as it unfolds in front of me, whether it's, what's happening on the other side of the world, or whether it's just some shit I see on the street in front of me. I'm just going to keep gauging myself and my emotions to react in the best way I can possible, which is understanding. It's love and it's forgiveness. Because, and there's a lot of people that are acting out of pain that they don't realise. And this is the thing, when you go through some pain in your life and it doesn't get addressed, all of a sudden you make another decision out of that pain. And then that goes bad. That adds on top of the pain. And then you've got two. So you make another decision based on pain. And then you've got three, and it just stacks up. So by the time you get to 34 like I am, I had to go back to the original stuff that caused me the pain, and I had to figure that out. I had to relive it. I had to reclaim it. I had to let it go. I had to undo the branch. That's then led to the healing, And then I've got like 40 other things. 40, who knows how many things. Actions I made that came from the perspective that I had at the time, because I was still stuck in that trauma and carrying it and not allowing myself to see another perspective. And that's the thing, when you've got trauma from someone or a situation, and you don't find resolution, whether it's your own internal resolution, whether you're lucky enough to get resolution with the person or people that you share the trauma with. Some people never do. Some people grow up with so much trauma from their parents, and their parents pass away, and they never get that chance to get that resolution from them. So you have to find it internally or spiritually. And I don't want to info dump on you too hard. It's my problem. I'm fully figuring out that, my love language is info dumping. That's how I show my love to a lot of people, is by telling them all this stuff that I've learned and everything I've experienced. And that's been on my journey of understanding my neurodivergence. Because I do feel I'm a bit different. I felt it my whole life, and it wasn't until this year I caught up with Lewis Spears and his amazing partner, and they sat me down, and it was like an intervention. They're like, "Really? We think you've got autism." And I was like, "All right." Well, I knew I was a little bit I knew I was a little bit spectrumy here or there. I think, you know, me personally, a lot of my struggles in life have come from, I really struggle to fit into the system. I really struggle to do a lot of stuff that people find very easy. But on a different level, I can, you know, shape a universe that serves me, you know what I mean? Like, some of the stuff I've done with hip-hop, I still blow out at, you know. I manifested crazy things when I was young, and a lot of them came true. And it's a hard one because the hip-hop world is a mix of complex PTSD, autism and neurodivergence, personality disorders, all mixed up with drugs and alcohol, you know. And it's interesting, when I was young, me and a lot of my hip-hop mates, whenever we'd get drunk, we'd all butt heads and just, you know. And in hindsight, I'm like, oh, we're just all a bit autistic, and we all just don't know how to hold space for each other while we communicate. And I fully realise that now, especially in creative communities, you know. Like, think about rap. You got a bunch of traumatised, aggressive men obsessing with poetry. That's fucking PTSD and autism if I've ever seen it. You know what I mean? I can't wait for my battle against the Saurus to come out whenever it does. That's another yarn. But, yeah, I touch on this shit and that, you know. It's very interesting. The more that I guess the evolution of language around neurodivergence, and the more that we understand personality types, trauma responses, all these sorts of things that help us navigate our journey and who we are as people. Yeah. So yeah, that's it, I guess. I'm just going to try and use the language that I learn on my journey, because so many people speak different languages. You know, you have to understand that a lot of my trauma in my life that really solidified who I was in my early years. So a lot of my actions that came in my early years came from trauma that was all circumstances of religion, really. And I'm going to break that down. I'm going to get really deep into all that sort of stuff, because it's hectic. And I didn't even really learn how to tell my story properly. This is the other thing, when you go through trauma when you're young, it's hard to get that perspective on what really happened from an adult's point of view. And so yeah, I hope as I just speak honestly. Hey guys, Happy New Year. The more I speak honestly and the more I share, for me this is like still a part of me, just ripping the layers off and telling my truth, you know. And a lot of people are very confronted with the truth, because so many people are hiding from theirs. And we still live in such a culture, especially in Australia, of, hey, bury your shit down. Don't tell me about your emotions. I'm trying to hide mine. I don't want to know about your emotions. You know what I mean? That's cultural. In Australia, there's so much, hey, shut up. And so much disconnection from those older generations. And I can see so many people breaking these generational curses. So many people are doing the self-work, and that's why it's inspiring, you know. I think we need to share more. And it's okay. It's okay to understand where your parents' pain comes from. The hardest bit when someone's caused you trauma is to understand their behavior from an outside perspective, where you stop blaming them. You know? It's a hard one, but you can get there. When you can truly understand the human behavior and the way people react, fuck knows where I've walked to. I have no idea where I am. Yeah. golf club. Yeah. So that's it, fam. I think that was a good first vlog. That was my boy here. I think that was a good first vlog. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments what you reckon. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I've got so many ideas. I'm gonna go Tasmanian cousin hunting. I'm gonna track down all my long lost cousins that I don't really know. I only grew up with 2 first cousins, and that's all I knew. There's my boy, Big here. I'll tell some yarns about that fella, I tell you what. But yeah, that's it. That's it, fam. That's the beginning. That's the beginning. This journey's going to be exciting. And thank you again for jumping in. I'm just going to do it every day. I'm going to go out. I'm going to build myself up. I'm going to get myself secure in this society. What's that? What is that? Oh, it's a